What movie did you like the bad guy more than the good guy?
Probably unpopular, but Knives Out. Chris Evans was so funny just telling people to eat shit. It was amazing. Apparently he was supposed to say fuck you instead of eat shit. Rian Johnson changed it to eat shit, so it had a lower age rating. I thought it was cool. Eat shit is way better. Meryl Streep's character in The Devil Wears Prada. So much more interesting than Anne Hathaway's character. Andy's boyfriend Nate is the true villain of that movie. To be fair, has Anne Hathaway been interesting in any movie she has been in? I'm not asking to troll, I just find her genuinely off-putting. Iceman in Top Gun. He was the only pilot that actually obeyed the rules. Was a skilled flyer, never killed anybody in the entire movie. Correctly identified all of Maverick's faults. I hate that I watched that movie as a child and never felt empathy for Tom Cruise's character. Maverick was an asshole that should have been grounded after his very first flyby. Emperor's New Groove. Yzma and Kronk, they are entertaining to watch until today. I'm gonna break the rules of the question and say Breaking Bad. Gus Fring was just so interesting to watch in every scene he was in. Pretty much everyone is a bad guy in Breaking Bad though. There's only maybe a handful of characters that are truly the good guys, the rest are all drug lords, dealers, cooks, cartel Nazis. Law-abiding citizen. His reasons for doing what he was made sense. Yeah, by allowing himself to get caught by Jamie goddamn Foxx. I agree with you that he should have had a better thought-out plan and taken out Fox. Loki and Thor, my current best friend and I bonded over this. The Joker in the 1989 Batman. Played by Jack Nicholson, he was really fantastic. He was funny, liked Prince's music, was a snazzy dresser, and had a major thing for Kim Basinger. What's not to like? I think I was 12 the first time I saw it, and I legitimately cried when he died. Still my favorite treatment of the Joker? The perfect blend of mafioso sleaze, mustache-twirling evil and camp showmanship. Alan Rickman in Die Hard. Alan Rickman in Robin Hood hilarious. Not a movie, but Negan from The Walking Dead. Hated him for killing Glenn and Abraham, but goddamn it was hard to hate him later on. The more I think on it, the more I side with Negan during that entire exchange. Rick's group snuck up on a group of people that they had never interacted with at all and just killed them all. So, only losing 2 after killing a dozen seems more than fair. Although technically not the bad guy, a lot of people fall for the propaganda and say Vader is the bad guy. The government in the X-Men movies. They had a pretty good point. I mean, Magneto can turn city streets into a game of real-life bumper cars. Mystique can turn into the president to the extent that no one will know the difference. Professor X can touch his temple and get nuclear launch codes. Wanting a registration system isn't the most awful idea. The X-Men should have advocated for being folded into the government domestically and for a universal requirement that mutants not use their powers militarily by any nation at a UN level. The US government having the X-Men in the Department of Mutants led by good guys in the public eye and with legal standing to train and regulate powers would have gone a long way to achieving peace. Avatar, the blue people, not the collective fever dream of Reddit that probably never happened. Jake was such a boring character, as were the Na'vi. But the Colonel. Fucker didn't let being on fire stop him from trying to tame the planet. It took a literal deus ex machina to stop him. If we can count the World Tree as a god, civilizations have worshipped less powerful creatures, seems appropriate. Nearly conquered a planet with mining equipment, security rifles. The Joker in The Dark Knight. Okay, this may sound edgy at first, but listen. In Batman Begins, we get shown Gotham as a city dominated by organized crime and with corrupt police. In The Dark Knight, this may have cooled down a bit, but by far not completely. There are basically only 2 lawyers to trust, and all the organized crime still works, just in daylight. Then the Joker steps in. At first he does a heist, killing all the people who partook in getting some money. Then, he does what not even Batman could do. He walks into the meeting of all the bosses of organized crime, kills one of them and negotiates half their money out of them for doing something he doesn't do at all. Only days after this, the organized crime in Gotham breaks into shambles. I'm not saying he's the good guy, but I'm saying that he did as much for Gotham as Batman did. Also, how could you not love Heath Ledger? The McPoyles in Always Sunny hostage episode. Sleeping Beauty. Maleficent is a great character. Does it count if I say that the brothers in Boondock Saints are the bad guys? Technically the good guy is Defoe because he is the one trying to stop the mass murders. It's just the bad guys of this movie are even worse, but the brother are killing hella people. Not a movie, but a sitcom. Dwight was not your typical villain, per se, he was just an anti-hero. But Jim, the Romeo, was downright mean and a bully. Spider-Man Homecoming. The culture was just your average, hardworking American man trying to put food on the table for his family who, having got the shaft by the government's crony capitalism, righted a few wrongs in his life while improving the lives of his employees, minus the guy he killed, but that was an accident. Then that shitty little kid came along and fucked it all up. I don't know if I liked him more than the good guy, but Andrew Scott's Moriarty as BBC's Sherlock is amazing. He's crazy and he knows it and embraces it. He creates chaos for fun, and it's amazing to watch him taunt Sherlock. I was so upset when he died. No Country for Old Men. Javier Bardem was the best bad guy I ever saw. TBH, I think there is anyone there that can perceive as a whole good. One of the best movies I ever saw. No Country for Old Men is one of the few films, Die Hard being the other I can think of off the top of my head, where the hero and villain are both smart and resourceful. Usually one's just ridiculously overpowered, and the other's just lucky. But from a certain perspective, Chigurh isn't really the villain. He's very pure, very uncompromising. Lulien is brave and resourceful, but he's a compromiser, and that's what does him in. He wants it both ways. He wants to take the cartel's money, but he wants to help the dying Sicario. He wants to take the money and run, but he wants to bring his family along. Chigurh Odo does what needs to be done. He understands which side he's on. Sharpay from High School Musical. Preteen me was all for Gabriella, but upon a rewatch, Sharpay was the obvious choice for all success in casting decisions. Amy Dunn from Gone Girl. Yeah, she was clearly insane, but her husband, can't remember his name, was a douchebag in a much more realistic way. Not many people know someone of her caliber of crazy. But we pretty much all know a cheating asshole like him, and somehow that makes him way more hateable. She's also just a far more interesting and memorable character, so that helps. Sonic. Jim Carrey as Robotnik owns my soul. Vic in The Shield. I liked Claudette too, but Vic was such a complex character. War of the Worlds, the acting was so bad that within 20 minutes I found myself hoping the aliens would wipe out the human race, or at least Tom Cruise. Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Anton Chigurh, No Country for Old Men. The Joker, The Dark Knight. Norman Bates, Psycho Edit. Max Cady, Cape Fear, Voldemort, Harry Potter's. Jafar and Iago, they are actual friends, and while Jafar kind of steps over the line when he becomes a genie, he was just fed up with everyone's bullshit. Also Hades and Hercules, but that's an easy choice. The Series of Unfortunate Events. Jim Carrey is hilarious. We all know Johnny Lawrence was the real Karate Kid. Daniel LaRusso just comes out of nowhere, steals his girl, assaults him in the bathroom stall and beats him in the tournament with an illegal move. Eric Killmonger from Black Panther. Eric only wanted to help the people he personally saw as down and unequal. He was ultimately a victim of Wakanda's seclusionism. His father was even killed because of it. His ultimate goal was to help the people he felt were victimized by inequality, as he knew Wakanda had the resources to do it. As with any moral ambiguous character, obviously his methods of doing this were wrong, but he ultimately died because of that same seclusionism. Hell, even the main characters recognized his ideal to less violent extent after. That, and T'Challa was a hard person to feel bad for, considering he was privileged his whole life and rose to the throne.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, smile,